All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name is Aaron. The reason you subscribe is because on a daily basis, we break down everything going on in the market, news, perspective, opinion. We make Bitcoin, we make cryptocurrency easy to understand. I'm going to play you a video in just a little bit. But let's start right here. Bitcoin hitting a price point of $200,000 1 year from today, the end of 2021, a 20x from 10,000, a 10x from here is now conservative. This is according to on-chain analyst Willy Woo, gave his thoughts on 2021, and he said this: my top model, and if you're unfamiliar with the top model, it's the average cap multiplied by 35, and historically, this has matched the market tops. And we can, apply this to Bitcoin's price history. And when Bitcoin topped out at both of the previous cycles, it hit the top cap. Now, if Bitcoin were to top out today, this model is already at $87,000. So thinking ahead, my top model suggests that a $200,000 price per Bitcoin by the end of 2021 now looks conservative. $300,000 by the end of next year is not out of the question. The current market, on average, paid about $7,400 for their coins. So anybody who's investing in Bitcoin today, you all are geniuses. And you can see that he projected this chart into the future, and if Bitcoin tops at the end of 2021, 200,000 is conservative. I have never been so bullish for 2021, he says. This reaccumulation phase coincides with spot market inventory depletion, roughly 2x longer and deeper than the last cycle. It will send Bitcoin flying. So you understand what this means, correct? That the coins leaving exchanges is 2 times longer and 2 times deeper than any cycle before. And that's probably simply because of the fact that this is the first cycle where people realize that Bitcoin is here to stay. Last cycle, people truly were not sure. This cycle, smart money sees that Bitcoin is here to stay. Now, I've always heard that longer and deeper doesn't matter as much as, you guys get it, just joking around. Also, the money gain in market cap per money invested has significantly increased over past cycles. What does this mean? Hodlers are hodling stronger. It was $2 in 2013 bull run, $2.50 in 2017, and $3.50 or more in coming 2021. All pointing to reflexivity increasing and amplified 2021 bullish feedback loop. If you look at the on-chain data, there's no other way to be besides bullish. So all of us who own Bitcoin, if you own even 0.001 Bitcoin, leave a comment below. Don't tell me how much, but leave a comment below. It's starting to turn into a stampede for Bitcoin. Bernstein suggests a 1.5 to 10% allocation for Bitcoin. Do you have any idea how huge this is? Respected Wall Street equity research house changes mind. Hard for asset allocators not to pay attention to drumbeat of positives from institutions. And for the exact story, the research arm of New York-based AllianceBernstein, this is a global investment manager with $631 billion in assets under management, has had a change of heart when it comes to Bitcoin as an investment asset. TLDR, what they said is this: post-pandemic changes to the policy environment, debt levels, and diversification options for investors mean that asset managers now has to, quote, to admit Bitcoin does have a role in asset allocation at least over the long term. Next year, the year after that, it will be fiscally irresponsible if these investment giants don't have Bitcoin in their portfolios. So the people coming around now, smart money, right? Former Goldman exec Raoul placing a huge bet on cryptocurrency, moving 98% of his portfolio to Bitcoin and Ethereum. We already know that Raoul, huge bull on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, he has since increased his position. The CEO of Real Vision and global macro investor says he is selling all his gold to place the vast majority of his liquid net portfolio into Bitcoin and Ethereum. He said this, okay, last bomb. I have a sell order in tomorrow to sell all my gold and to scale in to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, 80% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum. I don't own anything else except some bond calls and some cash, 98% of my liquid net worth. See, you can't categorize me except irresponsibly long. Look, guys, if you can't see, based on everything we talked about in this video, based on everything that we've been talking about on this channel for years, if you can't see that Bitcoin is being accumulated en masse, and whether it is people that we're rooting for talking about Bitcoin or whether it's people we're rooting against talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a conversation right now in the world, and it's only going to increase in value if you understand Bitcoin. 2020 is the year that keeps on giving. Check this out. This is poetic. This is unbelievable. This just happened December 1st. The former Reuters CEO, Thomas Glosser, asked Mark Carney, the former Bank of England head, and BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, about Bitcoin at the very end at the Council on Foreign Relations. Check this out. Let me give you a little color commentary before I play this clip. Make sure you watch the whole clip. I'm going to shorten it for you, but it is fascinating. So, Thomas Glosser, who's the former Reuters CEO. Reuters seems a little bit bullish on Bitcoin now. It's hard to tell. Anyways, he asks these two gentlemen about Bitcoin. Mark Carney, the former Bank of England head, immediately scoffs at Bitcoin, and he gives his answers about how central bank digital currencies will help the world. Then Larry Fink goes next, and he talks about central bank digital currencies, but he says something rather neutral to open-minded about Bitcoin. And watch the former Bank of England's body language as Larry Fink talks about Bitcoin. Watch the whole clip, then we'll discuss.
The question I had was, COVID has accelerated many digital transformations. And I was wondering whether you thought it might have also accelerated the transition to digital currencies, digital fiat currencies by central banks. And Larry, with Bitcoin tending toward 20,000, what are you thinking about it as an investable asset class?
Okay. Well, that gives us the headline. Larry's answer will give us the headline from this session. I'd just like to remind everybody of the importance of what we were talking about before he mentions the B word. But seriously, on the digital side, I do think, Tom, you're right in that one of the accelerants of COVID and the experience of the big shift towards online, with which we're all familiar, has been to reinforce the importance of further innovation, the innovations that have happened and further innovations on the payment side. In the end, at the heart of that will be, in my judgment, ultimately a move towards central bank digital currencies, monetary innovations that stick, that have value. One of the things, and you're familiar with it, but maybe not everybody is that in the 2 months ago, let's say, certainly within that time frame, the Bank of England, the ECB, the Bank of Japan, the Reichsbank, the Swiss National Bank, Bank of Canada, the Fed, published a very important report on central bank digital currencies. It's one of the last things I've sort of commissioned with Christine Lagarde when I was leaving. It helps lay the groundwork for ultimately having a digital currency at the heart of our financial system. And the types of innovation that will come from that will be quite substantial. So I could have made this shorter, and I should stop here and I'll hand to Larry. But the short answer is yes, it has accelerated digital currencies, but also broader payment innovations, which will make a material difference to the costs of transacting for small, medium-sized businesses and ultimately consumers?
I would just start off and say digital currency is a mechanism to bring down costs quite considerably. And just like companies that do very well because they provide great convenience and price transparency, there's no question digital currency provides that convenience, that simplicity. Now, related to Bitcoin, one of my important investors was on one of the television shows the last few days, and he spoke about Bitcoin and two of, one, monetary policy, two, and three, COVID. The hits on BlackRock's on our website was 3,000 on COVID, 3,000 hits on a monetary policy, and 600,000 hits on Bitcoin. So what that tells you is Bitcoin has caught the attention and the imagination of many people. Many people are fascinated about it. Many people are excited about it, but it's still untested. It's still a pretty small market relative to other markets. It can be, we see these big giant movements every day. It's a thin market. And so can it evolve into a global market? Possibly. Certainly by evidence of the imagination of so many who want to learn about it or interested in about it, to me is a very telling sign. Another good example why understanding big data, like how many hits and all that, really is a defining statement. And so we look at it as something is real, but it's still untested. It still has many. We have to go through many markets to see if it's going to be permanently real or it's going to be a variant of that sometime in the future. Lastly, because we're running out of time, I would just say having a digital currency has real impact on the US dollar, because having a digital currency makes the need for the US dollar to be less relevant. The US, and I'm not talking about for Americans, I'm talking about for international holders of dollar-based assets. The question I would raise, and maybe another time Mark and I could talk about it, does it change the need for dollar reserve as a reserve currency if there was a true digital currency that was separated from dollar-based assets and other things like that? So many questions need to be answered before I could say, is it real and alive? But it certainly has created a lot of imagination, a lot of interest, and it certainly has the potential to evolving into something real.
Mark Carney's body language as Larry Fink talks about Bitcoin, priceless. This is the face of a man who is being confronted on video and realizing that Bitcoin isn't a topic that's going to go away, and he's going to have to deal with this eventually. Amazing, guys, amazing. We are so lucky to be here. It is so cool that you're interested in learning about this stuff, regarding Bitcoin and regarding cryptocurrency in general. It's clearly paying off if you've been subscribed to us for a while. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you tomorrow.